Hi, this is Shade Foray with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Steven Swenson again, and this is another one of our Property Deal of the Week videos.
Yeah, and today we're going to be talking about the state of Alabama.
Yeah, now Alabama is classified as a tax lien state, but they do have some tax deeds that are sold. Their auctions, though, generally take place between April and June, or in other words, right about now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the maximum rate of return in Alabama is set at 12%. Or 1% per month, and they use a premium bid system. Now they have a 3-year redemption period, and at the end of that 3-year redemption period, the county judge of probate will go ahead and issue a tax deed and send the tax deed to the lien holder.
Yeah, so essentially, that's how liens in Alabama can become deeds. Is through the end of that redemption period.
Yeah, and one thing to mention as well is that Alabama does have over-the-counter tax liens and tax deeds. They're all bought through the state, and you can go ahead and purchase tax liens, but if it's been over 3 years, then that's been on the county books, then the state will go ahead and issue a tax deed instead.
Yeah. And now, before we move on, we just want to encourage you, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, we want to encourage you to subscribe so that anytime we produce these videos about new auctions coming up, you'll be notified about it.
Yeah, now today's auction that we're going to be going over is actually going to be on govease.com. They're a little bit newer online auction website.
Yeah, I think it is. It's one of the newer services here. We can see the arrow kind of pointing to Butler County here, but there's other counties that they are providing auctions for. On this list, we can see that there are some in Alabama, Mississippi. We see Georgia and
and
Texas.
They do probably have 20 Alabama auctions that are coming up over the next 60 days.
Yeah. So the one that we're looking at here started on March 18th, or a few weeks ago, and it ends on April 18th. So it goes for about a full month.
Yeah. Now, like we mentioned, they go ahead and use a premium bid method, which means that you're actually bidding up the price of the tax lien. So on that first tax lien, it's $89.31. If we wanted to win it, we would go ahead and maybe do $90 or $91. Now, one thing that's nice is if you're doing this in an on-site auction, you've got to kind of try to figure out what interest rates you're going to be getting. But using the online system, they'll go ahead and calculate that for you, so if you go ahead and do an extra $2, that means that you're going to be making an 11.5%.
Yeah, that does
versus 12.
That does make it handy. Well, let's take a look at some of the liens that they have available here. So this first lien is for $1,407. As we take a look at the property itself, we can see this is actually against a single-family home, a nice single-family home. Valued at over $500,000. Even the county's assessed on it is over $435,000.
Yeah, this is a $500,000 home. Looks like it has a pool. It's kind of a little bit more out in a rural area, country, but looks to be really nice. And like Shade said, we're talking about a property that's worth over $500,000, and the lien against this property is $1,400.
Yeah, so the lien to value ratio is just tiny. I mean, that lien is a tiny percentage, less than 1%, of the property's value.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see that a little bit of a theme through the properties that we look at. In fact, I only looked at 4 properties out of the list, and each property we ended up using as an example. So every property I looked at looked like a property that we would probably purchase the tax lien on.
Yeah, and if you think about it, a 3-year redemption period, and roughly, if you have 3 years worth of delinquent taxes, and if it's about this much a year, that's really not very much to foreclose on, or at least not a lot in taxes owed for such a nice property.
Well, and one thing as well is there's a good chance these are going to get paid off.
Yeah.
You're never going to make the money, but there's so much competition in other areas where people are bidding down the properties to 0% and then even doing premium bids on top of that. If you can earn a better interest rate in one of these areas, like Alabama, like Mississippi, one of these states that isn't quite as sexy, you're going to have a better chance of getting interest rate returns. In fact, that's something we teach our coaching students that are looking to purchase tax liens, is looking in other areas that have less competition. Maybe it's not the best state considered by tax lien investors, but if we can earn a better interest rate within that state, then we're going to go after it.
Well, yeah, and the same fundamental principles apply, to these liens as would any other state, and these liens are just as secured, if not in most cases, these are probably even more secured in terms of their the value versus the lien amount. I mean, here we have a lien for $557 against this house here. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, valued at about $90,000. So again, you've got a lien that is just a tiny fraction of what the property's estimated value is.
Yeah, well, and these are the kind of tax liens that we like to purchase. On a nice single family home, a low dollar lien to the property's value. Most likely it's going to get paid off. Plus, we're always going to check a little bit more into the property. Like with this one, we can see that it sold a couple of years ago, so we can kind of see what the property looked like with interior photos from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, which that's handy. Very secure tax lien to buy. It's one of those that you can buy and pretty well rest assured that it's going to end up redeeming. And if it doesn't, then you can. Then you always have that chance to be able to pursue property acquisition. But most of these, like Steve said, are going to redeem. And here we have a nice piece of land.
It's actually a home. There's
there's a home
on the property. Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home, but it is a large piece of land. I mean, you can see that this has got a pond on it. You can kind of see the home in the top photo. You can see it kind of through the trees.
Yeah.
But this one only had a $375 lien on it. And there's a lot of these liens that are these cheaper liens that are attached to good properties.
Yeah. In fact, that's a very small lien amount, considering the fact that you've got a property there that's valued at over $120,000, and it's only a $375 lien.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty small.
And not only do we have value in the home, but we also have value in that land. So it's a tax lien that we would be more than happy to purchase. Earn an interest rate return, and if we do have a chance to foreclose, we're going to be foreclosing on a property that has use and value that we can turn around and sell quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting, that the county actually does assign more value from the land than they do from the building.
Yeah. Well, and that's always a good sign, especially if the condition of the structure does have issues. We know that we still have that value within the land.
Yeah. Here's another lien that we have. Now, this one is a bigger lien. This is a $10,000 lien. And so you might wonder, well, what in the world, would a $10,000 lien be against? And this is against commercial property, actually, Dollar General store.
Yeah, it's worth $1.2 million. In fact, I went to look at the most expensive lien on the list, and this is it. So a $10,000 lien was the most expensive one within the whole county. I mean, we've seen liens in some areas that are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So this is on a Dollar Tree store, and one thing I noticed is that it's fairly new because the street side image that you can see there when it was being built was back from 2016.
Oh yeah, so it's been built in the last
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, just the last few years. That's really impressive, and the $10,000 is a tiny fraction. I mean, my goodness. It's less than 1%, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 10% of 1% or something. I mean, it's a small fraction of the property value, against a good property. Now, chances are this is going to get paid off, like all the other ones we've talked about. But you're earning that interest rate return. If not, you've got the chance to foreclose on a property that has significant value.
Well, and that 1.2 is also just the county's estimated value. That's not necessarily
it's probably
the market
closer
too.
to, market could easily be 1.4, 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing just in the estimations there, the value of the land alone is worth $227.
Yeah.
And then the building itself being about $1 million in value. So, again, a really secure investment, where your money is going to be safe. You're going to earn a good rate of return on it, and have that chance, to acquire property. Although all of these are great and will most likely just redeem.
Well, and one thing that's interesting is a lot of these Alabama counties have traditionally done on-site auctions. So for some of these, this is the first year they've been doing online auction, and they're also doing it on GovEase, which isn't as well known as Real Auction or Grant Street Group. Hasn't been around as long. So I think there's a better opportunity to get some good interest rate returns on some of these properties. There's multiple Alabama auctions you can register for coming up over the next 30, 60 days.
Yeah, and there very well could be less competition, than most online sales with it going through GovEase. That is a good point as well.
Yeah, now this auction, like we mentioned, ends on April 18th, and there's about 422 properties on the list as of when they put it out. Now, I'm sure some of those are going to redeem up until the day of the tax lien sale, but there's still a lot of opportunity. We're not talking about, tens of thousands, like in some bigger counties. These smaller counties don't have that many tax liens, but they also tend to have tax liens on better type of property.
Yeah.
They don't have as many junk tax liens and junk property, at least from what I've seen in many of the lists.
Yeah, like most of the stuff they have are probably good quality liens.
Yeah.
So, well, awesome. Yeah, I think that is an interesting auction, to look at. Now, if you like this information, or if you haven't got our free ebooks yet, you should go to secretsoftaxlieninvesting.com, where you can download the free ebooks that we have, and also register for the free webinars we do too.
Yeah, we do a webinar about once a month, and so if you're interested in attending, go ahead and register. You can click the link in the description. If you'd like additional training, go ahead and check out our membership program. We really feel it's the best value in tax sale education. That's going to give you access to all of our tax sale list, our over-the-counter list, our training guides, and even weekly webinars with me and Shade.
Yeah, and that's taxsalesupport.com. So, hey, thanks for watching here to the very end. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button.
Yeah, appreciate it.